Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It's another episode of LFGM podcast. Let's fucking go Mets. Matthew, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been another interesting week here in Mets world. We had four baseball games. We had um, DeGrom threw a gem against the Marlins, but we couldn't give him any run support. What else is new? We had three out of four games with the Phillies, and here we are. We're rained out today on a Thursday night. Well, it was a Thursday afternoon game, and the Mets are on their way to frigid Colorado as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, we finally are rolling into getting some games a little bit. Then we get the rain out today, and then up in the air, I guess maybe for tomorrow and the weekend. I don't know, but
They're
like
talking like something crazy, like 15 inches of snow and 20 degrees or something.
it's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
that much snow.
That's what I heard, but I mean, who knows? These weather guys are wrong all the time. It's crazy. Imagine playing in that. No thanks.
That means some kind of snow is coming. Maybe not 15, but there's like 6, 7 inches. So either way, they're not gonna probably play. So
Yep.
that's
Yep.
good to know.
I would imagine that Friday's game is off. I think they'll try to squeeze in Saturday and Sunday, so we'll get 2 out of 3 in Colorado. That would be my guess. But anyways, here are some makeup games for you. The Mets will have a doubleheader coming up with the Phillies June 25th, and then they'll get a Mets Marlins doubleheader August 31st as well. So, and just a little schedule update: we've got 3 with the Rockies, and then 3 with the Cubbies. So we're running into some out of division teams, which is nice to see. So we get to do a little traveling here. We're going to Colorado, going to Wrigley Field. And the boys, they're starting to percolate. They're heating up a little bit.
Yeah, they've looked good. This last series, they looked real good. Starting
Yeah.
with the doubleheader against the Phillies.
Nothing like a little doubleheader sweep. Get the brooms out.
I love it. I mean, we didn't, and like especially in the beginning, didn't necessarily hit the cover off the ball, but
No.
the pitching was nice, and we finally, as we went into the second game, you could see the bats coming alive a little bit more,
Mhm.
and not even so much scoring runs, but like way better at bats than what we've been seeing.
Yeah, especially I think like my biggest takeaway with the last few games, like guys are getting on base. Um, they've got. I would say the approach has changed a little bit, right? These guys are getting on base. They're walking. They're hitting the ball. And then I think we saw like the last 2 or 3 games here, the approach with runners on base and with runners on scoring position has changed. You can't be an on base guy when you got a runner on second base with 2 outs, you know? So, I mean, we've seen a few guys swinging at first pitch fastballs. Dom Smith, for example, roped a double with a first pitch fastball. It's just guys got to start hitting with runners in scoring position. And if someone's going to throw a 92-mile-an-hour fastball at you, take advantage of it, especially on the first pitch. It was nice to see them score some runs for the great starting pitching that we've gotten lately.
Yeah, and you see a little bit more consistency with the lineups too. I know everyone loves complaining about the lineups, but there's a reason why, especially in the beginning, managers change the lineups, trying to see what works. And right now, what's working is Nimmo at the top,
And we
Lindor
said that
second,
last week.
and Dom third. So that's not to say 2-3 weeks from now that could change.
Yeah.
But like that's people got to chill out on the lineups a
No,
little.
I agree. The lineups are like, dude, it is what it is. It doesn't matter. Like, you got to hit the ball. It doesn't matter where you are in the lineup. We said last week though, we were like, Nimmo's got to be your leadoff guy. He's batting .464 right now. His on base percentage is .583. That's insane. That means half the time he's up there, he's getting on base. He's been going the other way. He gets on base. He's got a great eye, especially like there's nothing that's got to be more frustrating for a guy like Aaron Nola who goes 12 pitches deep on the first batter of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's really nice to see. He's kind of like that pesky. It's almost like a different type of Pedroia kind of feel to him. It's like this, Pedroia was a bad boy. Nimmo's like this like good little gospel boy, but it's got the same sort of like vibe to it where he's like that pesky sort of at bat. He's not an easy out,
Dude, he's also turning himself into a very good hitter. Beyond being pesky, beyond having a good eye,
Going the other way, man.
He's taking he always used to take a fastball right down the middle to the point where it's like, all right, well, I like that you're patient, but you kind of put yourself in a hole here. Now he's taking advantage of that a little bit more, and he's ready to swing at that. And he's going to continue to get those same pitches because we got guys behind him. So he's really turning into a full, complete hitter that everyone hoped we would see.
Yeah. Let's stick with the lineup here. I guess we'll just run straight down. I mean, Lindor, he's had his early season struggles, but there's no doubt in my mind he'll turn it around. And then, as you mentioned, Dom in the 3-hole. I love that. I love seeing him there. I think that's a great spot for him. And like you said, it might change, a week from now, 2 weeks from now. But if you have a guy who's slumping in Michael Conforto, dude, like there's no pressure, man. Like you play, you figure it out a little bit lower in the lineup, and we got other guys here that are going to pick you up. And it's great to see, honestly. It gives Rojas such flexibility. There's no really wrong move that he can make, I think, in the top of this lineup right now.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. It is, the lineup, I mean, it can change over and over, but right now the guys, they're clicking a lot more. Even the guys that aren't hitting, you're starting to see some better at-bats put together, more balls in play. So everything kind of came forward like towards that second game of the doubleheader where you could kind of see that happening with these guys.
So moving into starting pitching here, we've seen let's stick with the doubleheader. So Taijuan Walker go out game one. Again, his second start is met. He reached his highest velocity that he's reached since before his Tommy John surgery. So I mean he's passing the eye test for me. The velocity's there. Dude knows how to pitch, man. He's inside, outside. He knows, you can tell he's thinking what the hitter is thinking. He's got a really great approach. It's been fun to watch. I'm really impressed with him.
He's one of those guys, when he's pitching, I'm like excited every time.
Yeah,
like man. It's weird because I'm like, he's got great stuff, that, but also, like you said, like he knows how to pitch and it really shows. And I can't wait for him to just continue to go longer into games, which will happen.
Yeah, all these guys got to start building up their arm strength. Second game of the doubleheader was Stroman. So Stroman had the weird thing where he went out for like 6 or 7 pitches, whatever it was, in the rain, and then they called that game, which was so stupid. But came back two or 3 days later, and he pitched in game 2 of the doubleheader. Dude, he looked awesome too. I mean, he was keeping the ball down. He's getting he's getting ground balls. He's getting double plays. He's striking guys out. He's all jacked up on the mound. I mean, he's talking the talk. He's also backing it up right now.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked real good. And I was fine with the move too, with like, all right, let him hit, see how it goes, because if it's a quick inning, you throw him out there right away.
Back out there, yeah.
When it is a long inning, he had a great at bat that led to that walk.
Right.
And then he's out there on the bases trying to stay warm. And so put Familia in the game because you don't want to ice. He pretty much, we iced him, or he iced himself by having a good at bat. But that's what it is, and that's what the beginning of the season is for, is trying things out like that. Yep. So, people complain about that, but I had no issues with that at all. And I thought it was funny that Rojas did say, like, oh yeah, he told me his legs were cold. Sounds a little,
it's a weird,
like a kid doing, like Rojas, just keep that between you and him next time.
Yep, I agree. It was nice. It was like, we've seen it before where guys have been like, no, I'm going out there, I'm finishing it. Even like they're so headstrong in their want to finish a game that it's detrimental to the team. And so I think it was really kind of refreshing to see a guy say, like, hey man, like, I'm a little iffy. And if you're iffy, like that's time, it's time to go. And it was the right move in hindsight to put Familia in. Familia looked decent. You can't walk the first guy, but he got some soft ground balls, and he got, we were able to win the game. So that, I mean, anybody who's complaining about a win, stop. You're wrong. Like if guys in the bullpen got to pitch too, they got to figure it out. And if you want Familia to be a productive part of this team, or not, right? Either way, he's got to pitch. You got to figure it out and let him. You got to see what he's able to do. You're not able to do that if he's not pitching.
Yeah, no, at the right time too. I was,
Yeah.
The moves have been good this week. And it was nice, got 2 wins out of the doubleheader, especially when, game 2 was a tough matchup for us. The whole series was really a tough matchup for us when you got, Nolan Wheeler on.
Nolan Wheeler. And I think the biggest thing for me was like Peterson versus Nola, like that's tough for us. Like that's not, you just look at it on paper and it's not obviously Nola's better than Peterson, right? We were able to kind of drive Nola's pitch count up for the second time in, I don't know, what was it, a week? Get his pitch count up a little high, especially in the first 2 innings, and then we kind of jumped him a little bit later on and started going after the first pitch. But Peterson looked good, man. He had 10 strikeouts. He was using his slider effectively early. I think what he tried to do last time was kind of like the DeGrom approach, where it was like, first time through the order, it's all fastballs. Like he's not there yet. He doesn't have that. So he was breaking it out early, and I think him and McCann have a really good rapport back there, actually. And I think you saw that after Peterson's first start. He settled down after that first really bad inning, and he looked really good. He settled down. This was an awesome bounce back start for him. It was really, I think, was my favorite game of the week, I would say, was probably watching him pitch and really kind of dominated that lineup.
Yeah, he kind of lulled him to sleep. I mean, he was just quietly throwing strikes, hitting corners. He looked really good. So that, that was really, really encouraging to see, because that was he did way better innings 2 through 4 or whatever it was for his first start. But, having the rough first inning, you want to make sure that that's not a consistent thing. So it's good to see.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I think, if I had to choose, I mean, we had 4 games this week. We went 3-1. That was probably my favorite game. And just to see him, I think it's good for his confidence moving forward. So hopefully he can keep it going and continue to, be a consistent, starter like that. It was also nice to see James McCann hit that bomb and get some insurance runs too. The bat's got to start getting going here. Where we had out of the 4 games we played, we got shut out by the Marlins and the DeGrom start. 4 runs, and 5 runs. So, there's no big outliers there. There's no huge run production games. No 8 or 9, even 7. I would say is a lot. But 5. I mean, 5 and 4 should be enough to win a game for sure.
Yeah, no. I thought it was overall great series, and really encouraging moving forward, just because it wasn't nothing really sloppy either. You had the 1 extra innings where it's I love 7-inning doubleheaders, but leave it to the Mets to still try to play 9 somehow.
Yeah.
But that was the one little bit of I guess a blip in the radar, you could say. But other than that, it's really good.
Let's talk about the 7-inning rule. And so we were able to see the 7-inning rule and the runner on second base rule in one game, which is interesting. So the 7-inning rule, I'm a fan of it. If you're going to play doubleheaders, dude, 18 innings of baseball is a lot. There's 162 games. It's 7 innings. They do it in college. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's usually agreed upon by the coaches a lot of times. It's very weird. It's I remember thinking why the fuck are we playing 2 9s? I'm not trying to be here for 7 hours, but sure enough. But then, most of the time you do play 2 7s just because it's dude, I mean, like you said, 18 innings is a ton. I hope they do more doubleheaders going forward, and I hope they do it more in the summertime. You know what I mean? Where you can someone can take their kid to the game and catch one or go in halfway through or whatever it is. And like, there's some kind of ticket price discount or whatever because it's like a Wednesday doubleheader starting at 12:10 in July. Like
Yeah.
things like that should be thought of more as opposed to like moving the fucking mound back.
Right. I mean, the mound back thing, I don't even want to talk about. It's stupid. It's never going to happen. And they're trying it out in some like no-name fucking league. It's so stupid. But
that league used to, I mean, pretty well known. But that league was like pretty legit at one point. And what they're turning it into is like a fucking clown show.
They're a little guinea pig. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the 7 innings, and it was fun to watch, man. And the game progresses so much quicker. And if you want to talk about speeding up the game, I mean, there you go.
Seriously, man. Like,
that's something I think people like be progressive and try these things out. I'm a huge fan of it. I also love doubleheaders. I think it's good for the game.
They go so quick, don't they? Like watching them, it's just like, oh, holy shit! It's the 5th inning. We really got to clamp down. Like it's.
So we also saw in his 7-inning doubleheader the 8th inning as an extra inning, which was weird to me because that didn't even like cross my mind. But we were able to see the runners start on second base. The Phillies scratch out a run, so the Mets go into the bottom of the inning, and they know they got to scratch out a run too. Yo, all props here to Rojas for finagling the rule with you change the pitcher when you double switch, so it can't be that person. So if so facto, however it works out, Lindor goes to second base. For Rojas, and for all the people that want to shit on Luis Rojas, you give credit where credit's due, man. He finagled the rule. He was able to figure it out, how he could get his fastest possible player on second base. And he did it. And it worked off because the Mets won the game.
Dude, that was so smart. Because I was like, why is Lindor on there? I was like, is there some rule where they could just pick whoever they want? Yeah. And then they explained it. I'm like, shout out Rojas. That was pretty good. That was pretty damn good.
And I don't know. I mean, everyone talks about like the lineup changes, and we kind of bashed him a little bit for some of the pitching changes he made early on.
Yeah.
I got nothing but props for him this week. It's been a good week, a really good week.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you win games, always helps. But even the moves, if they backfired somehow, I was behind all the moves. Even last night, bringing Loop in for what's his name? I'm blanking. Who came in last night? Was it Castro or Familia? Familia. Yeah, it was Familia. Where like Familia, he didn't pitch terrible, but a couple bad luck situations. And it's like, all right, no, man. Like, we're not going to let this get out of hand. Brought Loop in, got the ground ball double play. And it's, even if that didn't happen, I was all behind the move for
I got to tell you,
the game.
When the ground ball was hit, it was right up the middle. And I'm going, oh, fuck. It's a base hit right up the middle.
Yeah.
Lindor was played perfectly right there.
Yeah.
Played positioned perfectly. So it worked out really well. I think he's had a really good week. Also, like, Loop's got a pitch too, man. That was his 3rd game?
Yeah, dude, at most. I thought maybe it was even his 2nd game.
Maybe his 2nd game, right? So
second or 3rd.
He's got a pitch. Speaking of guys who got a pitch, Bobby G. Where you at, Robert Gazelman? We haven't seen him at all this year. He's in the bullpen. He's not on the IL like Dylan Betances. I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea what's going on, Robert Gazelman. But I think Rojas mentioned earlier that he might be an opener for the Mets in Colorado. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Dude, so what? All right. So I'm looking at some Mets blog right now that's saying that Lucchesi is going to start for the Mets on Friday, tomorrow. And
I guess if they're going to pitch in the snow, if they're going to try to squeeze this game in the snow, I guess Lucchesi is going to be it.
I mean, this was 7 hours ago. It's probably the most recent news on it, so I guess that's what we're going with. I mean, the Mets probable pictures on the Mets probables on their website are DeGrom Friday, Lucchesi Saturday. So I don't know.
I mean, they could shift it around all they want based on the weather. Because whatever we say now, it's going to change. Come 24 hours from now, or it's an 8:30 start because Colorado's an hour behind us. So 25 hours. I mean, we just don't know. Anything can happen with this weather. They also might not play tomorrow. So
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Who knows? Who
probably
really?
the most realistic option, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if Saturday or Sunday became a doubleheader there too, where they try to do the 7 inning doubleheader. Because how many times are we going out to Colorado this year? It's not a trip that you make often.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows? So yeah, I mean, we got to see Gazelman soon. Quick update on Carlos Carrasco. Apparently, he's getting better down in Florida. I think he's down in Port St. Lucie still. He threw 4 innings and 65 pitches, so it sounds like that hamstring is on the mend. And JD Davis should be coming off the IL soon.
Yeah, like where we're at with all these guys too,
Mm-hmm.
where
No
we
rush.
want them back, but we're not dying to bring them back because
Take your time.
we're not in a rush. And it's pretty crazy to think like no one's even spoke at all really about Seth Lugo coming back at all. And at this moment, you have Carrasco, Lugo, and then eventually Syndergaard,
Mm-hmm.
and it being added to the roster of some already really, really good pitching so far.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these guys, I think there's like an awareness too, like we got to step up or else we're going to be on a chopping block. If we're bottom 3, we're probably out.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys they want to stay in the show, so you got to perform.
Yep.
It is going to be interesting to see, what happens when they do come back. Like, I mean, we're talking 3 guys there that, I mean, you got to send somebody down, right? And you got to option people to the alternate site and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see who performs there. I mean, it's something to definitely keep an eye on. I've been really impressed with Guillorme. He's had really good at bats, just like rattling off some bench guys. VR had that game-winning hit. Kevin Pillar hasn't really hit yet. I don't know. I like you said, I like where we're at. I think we're in a really good spot. We got some teams coming up with some winnable games if we can get them in, weather pending. I think the Mets are ready to take off here.
That's the thing that could suck with this is if like we don't play any games at all in Colorado, and then it's like restarting again. And just as these guys were starting to get, under their feet a little bit, like all right, we got some baseball because it's we like to bash them after 2-3 games, but they hadn't been playing in a long time.
You got to play. It's a game.
Yeah.
You got to play. That's why there's 162 games. I mean,
Yep.
you play and then sit for a week and then not. I mean, right now we've played 8 out of 13 games. We've had 5 games canceled, 3 with the Nats and then 2 because of weather. And we're talking maybe 8 out of 14, which is almost half the games. And it could be more than that. We don't know what the snow is going to be like in Colorado. So it's been. I mean, if we're frustrated as fans, just imagine how they feel as players. It's messing with the pitching rotation schedule wise, people's routines. But I mean, hey, when life gives you lemons, you got to make lemonade, right?
Yeah, you could, or you could make something else too.
What would you make?
Make an Arnold Palmer.
Oh yeah, I love a good Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it in terms of like game talk, right?
Yeah. I think we rattled through a lot, man. We talked about the starting pitchers. We talked about what happened, what's coming up. Talked about Carrasco, JD Davis, some of these guys coming back. I mean, you even mentioned Seth Lugo. When he comes back, it's going to be like trading for this unbelievable bullpen piece. It's only going to fortify that bullpen even more than what it is right now. Right now, the Mets sit at 5-3 in the National League East, which is the best winning percentage. So they sit on top of the East. So it's like, let's stay there.
Yeah, I got a teacher. Like when I fucking tell her to stop, like just stop. You know, like
Hey, Penn.
I actually wanted to ask you. So what like I'm seeing a couple people on Twitter too. Mets Twitter is great. I fucking love how
Frank the Tank.
crazy they are. I love it. I love getting in the mud with them. I love it. But I'm seeing a lot of people talking about like roll calls or something, or like
Oh,
something that the Yankees do, like a whistle. What's a whistle? What's the Yankee whistle? Like I'm so confused.
there's a Yankee whistle? Like what?
I've
They like copyrighted whistles? All right, here's what I know about roll call. So there's this group of fans. They call themselves the 135 Mafia for Section 135. Apparently, it's something that started this year. And so Section 135, they were talking with Dom Smith before the game, and they're having a chat, very friendly, cordial. And so when Dom takes the field, they were cheering for Dom.
right.
And Dom's like pumping him up and whatever. And I guess when you hear it on TV, it kind of sounds like roll call, right? And so Dom, gives him the wave or whatever, and back to play. And then Brandon Nimmo's in center field, and he's like, "Hey, what about me?" So then they start doing it for Brandon Nimmo. So it's starting to feel like this roll call, like that's what the Yankees do. That's not what Met fans should ever do. And then I guess they started doing like Pete Alonso started waving out from first base in between pitches to the guys in section 135. And then they were like, I guess they started to realize like, oh, this is sounding like roll call. Let's stop. But apparently, section 135 has a lot of beef with the 7-line army. So
Is it because of this, or have they always?
I think they always have. So this one guy runs an Instagram page. It's called NYM_news. So New York Mets news.
I've seen that before. Okay.
Yeah, I follow them. They're pretty good. So New York Mets news and the 7-line army don't get along. Like they got, and so this guy from New York Mets news was with the 135 Mafia. So I guess there's some beef between. I mean, like dude. Like at the end of the day, you're all Mets fans. Like shut up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never even heard of the 135 crew.
It started like this week. It's like it's very new. It's
okay.
You should not have heard about it. But the guy was on WFAN today, so it's real. I mean, it's real.
That's funny. I mean, and was he kind of like talking trash on 7-line?
Not really. He kind of explained how his friend runs that Instagram page and he's got beef with them. He's like, we don't have beef with them. Like, they're whatever to us. Like, I don't care. Like, we'll cheer with them too. Like, we're all Met fans, so it's all good. But like that guy, New York Mets news, he's got real beef with them apparently.
I gotta look this up. I love this.
So, I love a little drama, a little see what's going on. Especially with the 7-line. That guy Darren, he's like he's very politically correct and wants like everyone to be like happy and like running through fields of flowers and like like that's just not how I don't know. To me it's like very fugazi. It's kind of like almost fake in this weird like kind of happy. Let's all be happy Met fans. Like, yo, it's hard to be happy when the team's losing. So,
no, I know, and he's always been like that. And it's like, well, yeah, it's all good for you because you're collecting a check from them because of your little kiosk in center field. I met that guy like 6 or 7 years ago, at least, maybe even longer.
He had long hair, and now he's got it all shaved.
He just walked into a bar and he was like, I think he was by himself at the time. So I was like, oh, what's up, man? Like, how's it going? Like, it's when I was like, I did like the 7-line and minimal, like he was like, we were talking and then I like brought up the Mets, like about a move that they made or something. And he was just like, yeah. And it was almost like, dude, do you not know?
There's nothing.
Like, are you just like one of these like surface fans? I was like, that was weird, man. That was like, it was like something big. I wish I remember what it was, and he had nothing to contribute. I was like,
that doesn't shock me at all.
I was a
They
little
have
surprised
turned
at the time.
into they have turned into like you're like it's the 7 line to me is for like I don't know 10-year-old boys in little league. Like that's just the way I see it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's cool that you could get playoff tickets from them, or you could at the time. I don't know how that will work going
Yeah,
forward.
I got that.
That was the one thing that I liked about it, but yeah, I don't know. I'd agree with pretty much what you said on them as well. It's very, I guess, like amateur a little bit,
Yeah.
little league-ish. Also, always saying the right thing and making, like even
Like
a couple years ago, I
these
remember him
players bleed
complaining on.
orange and blue for us. Don't be mad at them. Like, oh, well, fucking hit the ball then. I don't know what to tell you.
But it was even then. He was like, it was 2015, and people were complaining that the ticket thing got screwed up somehow
Yeah,
because
dude.
people were
I
going
benefited from
rabid
it.
for them, and he just went on Twitter to complain, and I was like, and he's like, I don't need to do this. I was like, you kind of do, bro. Yeah, they're putting money in your pocket. What are you talking about? Like, and I found that bizarre from that moment forward. I was like, all right, man, you're complaining about a pretty sweet job while other people got worse jobs.
So you know what? Here's what we'll do. We'll reach out to some of the 135 Mafia guys, and we'll reach out to New York Mets News, and we'll see if anybody wants to come on next week and talk on Skype with us. Do a little Skype call. We'll get them going.
That'd be a pretty cool idea, actually.
I'll reach out to them, send them a little Instagram DM or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
So it's been like I said, we'll wrap things up here. It's been an interesting week in Mets land. We had 4 games. Should have had more. We're 5-3 on top in the NL East. We've got arguing, clashing fan bases in the outfield. And just, I guess, moral of the story there is don't do roll call. Like, come up with something authentic. Come up with something that's your own. I don't know what that is, but
I gotta pay attention to it to see what it actually looks and sounds like.
yeah. So the
I
guy said,
zone out when
he doesn't go to every game, but he said the next game he's going to is Friday the 23rd. So I guess we'll have to listen very closely.
Yeah, I'll pay attention to it.
A roll call though. I'm gonna I'll call up. What is it? 877 TIXX. I'll say, hey, tell them to shut up in the outfield.
Yeah, that'll work. All right, before we log off, I got 2 more things. Like, I want to know. Like, first, do you know someone that has been to the game yet? Like to Citi Field?
No, I don't.
Me neither. So, I mean, whoever, if anyone listens to this and you went to a game, let me know how it is. Let me know if they have the radar gun challenge in center field. And I'm going to just keep asking that every episode at the end until someone answers me because I really want to know. And, let me know how it is in terms of, like, the atmosphere. I know the atmosphere is always good, but the concession stands, all that stuff, I kind of want to see what,
question.
If we haven't been there in 2 years, I wonder how different it really is. And it could be very different. We just don't know because all we see is the field on TV.
Yeah. No, I know. You're right. That's a great question.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely, I really want to know what that's like. And I'm going to try to find someone who's been to a game and ask them too. So maybe I'll come back with information.
Nice.
And then the other thing, if you do listen, click the subscribe and give us a rate and subscribe, 5 stars or something. Give us something because
give us something nice. Give us a pat on the back, man.
But when we do try to get people like New York Mets news and stuff, and we do want to have a decent amount of subscribers so we don't look like the random people that we are.
Little fools.
Yeah. No, it gives us some credibility and it boosts this up, and then 1 becomes 4, 5, 6 subscribers, goes into 20, and then
tell your friends.
Start getting players and stuff.
Tell your friends. I'll reach out to my good friend, my old pal, Glendon Rush. See if he wants to come on.
That would be cool. But that's what I mean, though. It's tough to just ask Glendon if he wants to go on. He looks at this and we have 3 followers. You know what I mean?
Maybe I'll ask my biggest Mets follower on Twitter, Mr. Noah Syndergaard, to see if he wants to come on one day. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you can. So
who knows?
That's the goal, really. That's the goal. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, it is. That's a good point about all the subscribing and stuff, and what the games are like. It's got to be really interesting. I'm trying to get. They only have tickets released until the end of April right now. So when the May tickets come on, I'm going to try to look and get them. Try maybe get like a Friday night or a Saturday day game, Sunday day game, something like that. So that'd be cool. Anywho, the Mets are 5-3. We're on top in the NL East, number one. Stay number one. Bring your jackets to Colorado. Keith, bring your parka. Oh yeah, well they announced it from Citi Field. Bring your parkas, bundle up, have fun in Colorado, have fun at Wrigley Field, and we'll see you next time back at Citi.